So the world record for heaviest deadlift has recently been broken by Hafthor Bjornsson. But we remember him as the Mountain from Game of Thrones. You know, that big guy who's all thumbs? He deadlifted 501 kilograms. Now, do you think Edward Norton can beat that record? Maybe not, but...
We have a Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk. Before I start, I just want to quickly say, a few days ago, this channel has recently crossed 200 subscribers. And I just want to say a big fat thank you for supporting the content that you like.
You are intelligent. I'll give you that.
If you haven't subscribed yet, then I challenge you to Hulk smash that subscribe button right now. Plus, it's free, so why not? So here's to us and our new journey of reaching 300. Now, where was I? Oh, the Incredible Hulk. So this is another user-submitted request by one of my subscribers, Janella. And Janella writes, "My fiance and I love the MCU, and we enjoyed your Iron Man review. Could you please continue reviewing MCU films?" Firstly, thank you for the kind words, Janella, and I'm glad that you asked. In 2008, the Marvel Cinematic Universe started with Iron Man. But many people forget that Iron Man wasn't the only MCU film released that very same year. Enter the Incredible Hulk. Now these days, when we think of Hulk, we automatically think of Mark Ruffalo. But before this character was recast, it was Edward Norton who was first to play the MCU's iteration of this mild-mannered scientist, Bruce Banner, who turns into a giant green monster with anger issues. And of course, this movie came out 5 years after Ang Lee's Hulk starring Eric Bana in 2003. Now you're probably wondering, why did Marvel part ways with Edward Norton? Now just to quickly summarize, money issues, he makes changes to scripts, tries to take control when he's not even in charge, and basically known for being difficult to work with.
Everybody knows who's in charge.
Now even with all that drama, we still ended up getting a new Hulk movie. Here we have Edward Norton's Bruce Banner desperately seeking a cure for his gamma radiation. You know, the reason why he turns into the Hulk. Because all ties from his previous life and moves far away from America. Because he's forced to hide from General Thunderbolt Ross, played by William Hurt, as Ross wants to extract his cells and basically find a way to weaponize it. So Bruce is essentially a man on the run whilst trying to find a cure for his condition. Marvel and Universal Studios have combined their powers to make this fun action movie in the comic book genre, making this movie number 2 in the MCU. The question is, did this movie knock it out of the park? Not quite, but let me tell you why. In the rich tapestry that is the MCU, we've seen a lot of films where we get to see the Hulk truly shine, especially in the first Avengers movie, Age of Ultron, and Thor Ragnarok. It's just a shame that this film never elicits the same feeling of excitement that I got from the aforementioned movies. I mean, I'm an action fan, but the action here was pretty forgettable. My fondest memory was when Hulk split a car in two and used each half as boxing gloves. Aside from that, I found the rest of the action like a chore that I had to get through just so I could see the actors back on screen again.
Don't even like the Hulk. He's all like, smash, smash. I prefer you.
Now let's talk about the CGI. Let's just say it looked very CGI, if that makes sense. These days, we're so used to seeing Mark Ruffalo's Hulk that by comparison, Edward Norton's Hulk came across as cartoony and rubbery. The CGI didn't age very well. I can't help but question the quality of the CG, even for 2008 standards, because Lord of the Rings Return of the King's CGI was a much higher quality. And that movie was from 2003. The main actors being forced to sit on the bench for the big CGI fights would have been less painful if the CGI was a little better.
Big CGI fight coming up!
And Tim Blake Nelson's over-the-top acting as Samuel Stearns was ridiculously way too animated. He was like a goofy cartoon character come to life. Of course, his character is also known as the leader in the comics. I don't know if he's supposed to be this silly in the comics, but the way he's portrayed in this film, he's goofy as fuck. Oh, and there's this really bad continuity issue in a chase scene early in the movie. It starts off when it's dark and it's seemingly nighttime, or super early in the morning. Either way, it was dark. Then suddenly the chase scene is happening in broad daylight. And get this, by the time the chase scene ends, it's dark again. Now let's talk about the positives. The performances from all our main cast was fantastic. Liv Tyler was great as Betty Ross, daughter of General Ross and love interest to our hero. Every time Tyler and Norton were together, I feel like their performances elevated each other's game. For me, the story really shined when it wasn't trying to be a superhero movie. The dramatic scenes packed more of a punch than some, if not more, of the action.
Maybe if I can control it.
It was great seeing an actor the caliber of Edward Norton take on this role of the superhero version of the classic Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The film explores a Bruce Banner dealing with his condition, taking breathing lessons, and how to master his emotions. He constantly monitors his heart rate so he knows when to keep his anger in check, so he doesn't turn into an absolute rage monster.
Now repeat after me. Goose fraba.
William Hurt was such good casting. He just has this on-screen presence about him that commands your attention. And Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky, aka Abomination, was just brilliant. You know when you see an actor in character and you just know from looking at him, yeah, he's gonna be the bad guy. And there was a very effective use of a montage in the opening credits. It just takes us right where the story needs to be. Because there's no need for this film to be an origin story.
You're right.
We see a cameo from famous bodybuilder Lou Ferrigno, which was really cool because he was the original Hulk from the TV show. We also see a younger Ty Burrell from Modern Family. And Martin Starr was here too as a computer nerd. But we remember him as the quirky high school teacher from the Tom Holland Spider-Man films. And look at this! It's a quick shot of my personal hero and mentor, John Campea, as a soldier. And I thought it was really cool that we see the blue super soldier serum for the first time in this film, which we learn more about in the future MCU movies. It's a nice little tie-in to plant the seeds to expand the Marvel franchise. And one extra thing that I can say about this film is, it's a more faithful adaptation of the comics than the previous Ang Lee Hulk movie with Eric Bana. Now before I share my final thoughts, just a quick reminder to click like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on my weekly reviews. Subscribe. And if you like my content and you're feeling generous, become one of my valued subscribers by signing up to my Patreon. You'll find the link in the description below. And now for my final thoughts. Starting off with the lows, we've got forgettable action and disappointing CGI. And as for the highs, we've got really good performances.
It's a little bit more complicated than that.
So overall, I think this movie was serviceable. Don't get me wrong, I mean I like it. And that's the sad part, because I was expecting to love it. To me, this is close to the border between a good film to a bad film. It's a significant step down from the first Iron Man. Aside from a few tie-ins, this film never takes a stand to say, yes, I belong in the MCU. But it's part of the family now, so we accept it nonetheless. But don't fret, cause Hulk gets better in future MCU films. There is no end credits scene here, but I will tell you that there is a pre-end credits scene where you get to see a familiar face. Just wanted to let you know so you don't stick around when the credits start rolling. Oh, and make sure to keep an eye out for the late and great Stan Lee's cameo. Now there is some fun to be found in this movie. I would recommend it if you're a really big Hulk fan or you're already invested in watching the MCU from the very beginning. If you're a completionist like me, then definitely don't skip this. But if you're not too bothered, then you can probably give this one a miss. Hey, it's got a 67% score on Rotten Tomatoes, so there's a good chance that you're gonna like this more than me. So have you seen The Incredible Hulk yet? I've shared my thoughts, now I want to hear yours in the comment section below. And while you're there, let me know what you think I should review next. And remember guys, I take user submitted requests, so all you have to do is subscribe and get busy in the comments. And who am I, you ask? I'm Anthony Hopkins. Bye for now. So you want to subscribe to my channel but you don't know how? Well, all you have to do is click right here. So you like this video and you want to see more? Well, why didn't you say so? Boom.